Green Book sites provided more than physical refuge during the segregation era. From New York to California, Green Book sites were places where African Americans had freedom of enjoyment.
The Green Book provided African Americans with greater social opportunities. African Americans, like all other Americans, wanted to have spaces for social and creative outlets.
Located on the corner of 135th Street and 7th Avenue in Harlem, New York, Small's Paradise was listed in the Green Book from 1938 to 1953. A popular nightclub famous as a hotspot during the Harlem Renaissance, Small's Paradise featured an immaculate dining floor and live music performances. Black patrons could dance, dine, and drink late into the night and into the early hours of the morning. Meanwhile, in Victorville, California, travelers could experience a cowboy adventure. Murray's overall-wearing Dude Ranch, listed in the Green Book from 1941 to 1956, gave its black patrons the chance to live out fantasies of the Wild West at a luxury resort. The site was also the set for a series of African-American Western musicals starring Herb Jeffries in the 1930s. Back on the East Coast, patrons could enjoy fun and sun at Rosedale Beach and Resort. Rosedale attracted travelers in the Mid-Atlantic region in the 1940s and 1950s. With its beach, amusement park, and resort, Rosedale was a one-stop shop. Rosedale was also a venue on what was known as the Chitlin Circuit, a traveling performance route chartered to help black entertainers avoid racial discrimination. Sites like Small's Paradise, Murray's Dude Ranch, and Rosedale Beach demonstrate the vibrancy of Green Book sites and their history. Even with all the success of such sites and their connection to the Green Book, Victor Green envisioned a future with true freedom of travel. In the 1948 edition of the Green Book, Victor Green told his readers, "There will be a day sometime in the near future when this guide will not have to be published. It will be a great day for us to suspend this publication, for then we can go wherever we please and without embarrassment." Victor Green died in 1960. Under his wife, Alma Green, the guide continued annual publication. In 1964, Title II of the Civil Rights Act asserted that all persons shall be entitled to the full and equal enjoyment of the goods, services, facilities, privileges, advantages, and accommodations of any place of public accommodation, without discrimination on the ground of race, color, religion, or national origin. Yet today, travel and place-based discrimination continues to affect people of color across the nation.
Modern-day instances of discrimination really speaks to the continuity of history, that the Green Book can be leveraged to remind us that these social issues that African Americans faced is still real and ongoing.
That you could still walk into a hotel or a motel that is supposed to be and is advertised as being vacant, and then suddenly they have no vacancy when they see that you're an African American family or a Hispanic family. And there is, of course, the experience of driving on the road and the fear of racial violence, which I think we understand is very alive today, that connects deeply to the history of the Green Book and why the Green Book was developed in the first place.
Unfortunately, many Green Book sites today are demolished or endangered.
Unfortunately, Green Book sites are disappearing because, in many ways, African Americans haven't been empowered to preserve the places that matter to them.
Probably between 20 and 30% of the sites listed in the Green Book are still extant, and that is probably too generous.
Many of the Green Book sites are located in historic districts that have faced years of disinvestment and decline.
In major cities where there were thriving black business districts, those are often the places that are targeted or were targeted during urban renewal efforts in the late 60s and 70s.
For those sites that are demolished, like Murray's Dude Ranch or Rosedale Beach, their memory has largely vanished with them. For those sites that are endangered, there is still a chance to save them.
The Green Book is evidence of our racial past and the inequities faced by Black Americans, and we can leverage the power of this story today to be able to fight and correct that injustice.
Green Book sites are physical evidence of these moments in time. Having a sense of place and the buildings and the landscapes and the towns and the roads between them is integral to understanding that experience.
It is essential that we work together to not only be reminded of their contribution in history, but work to preserve these places and find a viable reuse to help revive and activate Black communities. The Gaston Hotel is being preserved today. One, it is the centerpiece of the newly created Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument, which supports its increased interpretation and storytelling. And then also the City of Birmingham and National Park Service that share responsibility in preserving the site. They're actually working on phase 1 restoration. And we know that the motel has a bright future and will be open to the public in a few years. The preservation of the A.J. Gaston Motel, like other Green Book sites, helps to tell a national American story.
The Green Book was created out of a need for security in a dangerous social climate for African Americans. It is an enduring symbol of resilience, community, and Black innovation. With the Green Book, African Americans reclaimed their freedom, and by doing so, they made a bold social statement by refusing to be excluded from the American experience.